So, Eddington is the newest film from writer and director Ari Aster. He is of Hereditary, Midsommar, and Beau is Afraid fame. Those are his three biggest movies. I've seen two of those three. I still haven't seen Beau is Afraid yet, but I have to put it on my list after seeing Eddington. When I first saw Hereditary, which is a horror movie, I thought that's sort of what I would be getting into all of the time when I went to see stuff from this writer and director. When I saw Midsommar, well, you can argue that there's some horror aspects going on there. It was definitely different from Hereditary for sure. And the same is true here with Eddington. Although, right off the top, I will say that by the time this movie wrapped itself up, I was left feeling with a sense of, yeah, I did just watch a horror movie, but it doesn't come anywhere close what you would assume a traditional horror movie would be, because it's not what it is. But man, it's a heavy ass resolution, and it's a movie that wants you, or it asks you to pay attention, because there's a lot going on under the surface of it. Now, you can just take it at surface value and look at it as like this dramatic thriller movie, and that's fine, and you'll probably still enjoy it. But if you look a little closer and start to slowly dissect it, you'll realize that we're looking at the work of a really, really good filmmaker. I don't know how else to explain it. He's getting very good at his craft and telling stories with a bunch of subtle undertones. And I just thought it was really well done. It's a very, very professionally made and well-made movie with a very creative story. The basic story is about a small town sheriff going up against the mayor of the town, and the two find themselves at odds for the state of the world. The movie is set during May of 2020, at the height of the pandemic, when lockdowns and mandates were a thing. And I'm very happy to report that the movie does not get lost in any sort of agenda where it's trying to push one side or the other. It really is just using that point in time as a stage for the rest of the story of these characters to unravel. And like I said, there's so much more going on with everything that I can't even begin to explain it, because this is a movie you could see with your friends and then have lengthy discussions about after the fact. The movie stars Joaquin Phoenix as the sheriff, Pedro Pascal as the mayor, and then you've also got Austin Butler in a supporting role, and as well as Emma Stone and a handful of others. And everybody really clocks into work, but this is definitely Joaquin Phoenix's show. He showed up to work. He's not just phoning it in, and he turns in a performance that is incredible. He sells it, and this character is so human, and he does it in such a way that just keeps you glued to the screen. You almost feel sympathetic for him for the longest time, even up until the end of the movie. You still have a lot of sympathy for his character, and like I said, that resolution and just the dread it left me with is a lot to do with the performance that came beforehand from him. So he is definitely the standout here for sure. Pedro Pascal as the mayor of the town, he does well. I mean, it's Pedro Pascal. I know that like the running joke right now is to make fun of the fact that he's basically in everything, and it's starting to feel that way. This is the second movie I've seen this week with him in it, and he's going to be in the Fantastic Four next week. So he's definitely clocking into work and putting in the work to be in all of this stuff. And he does fine in this movie. Not as much as I would have assumed he would have to do. But again, the poster and the movie sells it as this ensemble piece, but it really truly is Joaquin Phoenix's show. And what can I say about the movie other than I mean, I don't want to, it's funny to say I had a really good time, because it really is this dark movie dealing with a lot of stress and humanity and angst. And it's a slow burn, but by the time you get to the conclusion, not even the conclusion, but like the climax of the movie happens, and you sort of think, oh, okay, this is it. This is how the movie's going to wrap up. Nice little neat bow, and then that'll be it. But no, there was a good 25, maybe even 30 minutes after that shows the downfall of the whole situation, and has it in its back pocket this extra explosive ending. And it features one of the best shootouts I've seen in a long time. I don't know if I would say it's one of the best of all time, but lately for sure. And it just keeps you really on the edge of your seat. This will not be a movie that is for everybody. Like I said, it's dealing with a lot of subject matter that that basically everybody in the world felt at some point on some level, for sure. And it will be too slow for lots of people, absolutely. But it's definitely worth checking out simply for the performances and like I said, that subtle storytelling. You can enjoy it without paying too much attention to it, but if you really take the time to absorb what you're watching, you're going to take away a lot more. I probably myself missed a bunch of stuff. I'm excited to watch it again and maybe even a third time and see what else I can find. But just the characters and the humanity behind them is told in these weird ways. The best example I can give, no spoilers or anything. Ultimately, the conflict between the sheriff and the mayor comes to this point where the sheriff decides, you know what? F you, I'm going to run for mayor because I don't like the way you're doing things. And it's shown in his character that he even says it 2 times in the movie. He's like, I don't want to overthink it. I just want to do it. And that little bit of storytelling there, you could have gotten away with him just saying that. And you can probably get, as a person, as any human being, and be like, that's probably not the best decision you could be making in this volatile circumstance you find yourself in. But it's taken through even more. And on his car, when he starts getting all his campaigning stuff on his car, he's got this one sticker that's been printed up, and it said, I can't even, oh no, I knew I should have made a better note of it, but it says, you're a target or something like that, but they don't spell it Y-O-U''RE. It's just spelled Y-O-U-R, you're a target. And I just thought that it's actually kind of sad for me to think that so many people will see this movie and think that that's just the way you're supposed to spell it. But when you look at a movie maker like Ari Aster, you know that that wasn't just a mistake that was left in the movie. That was an intentional thing done to further illustrate the speediness and the uncertainty of this character and how I just don't want to think about it. I just want to do it. And it's just those small things that ultimately build up to this like incredible downfall of most of these characters. This is not a happy story by any stretch of the imagination, but man, the way it plays out, it all makes so much sense in the end. And I don't know. So far, I think this is probably my favorite movie of the year. I know we're only about just over halfway through the year, but ever since I started doing these movie reviews, this would be the 3rd one I've talked about here on the channel. This is definitely up there for my favorite movie of the year. And like I said, it makes me want to check out Beau is Afraid, which was, I believe, the writer-director's previous movie, also starring Joaquin Phoenix. So hopefully a good one to be checking out there as well. But I'm getting off track here, as I usually do. Set in small town Eddington in New Mexico during a tumultuous time that everybody can relate to on some level, and just seeing how all of that stress and anxiety and nonsense that we were going through, how it can affect people on these very personal levels in their lives. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of it can be viewed as relatable, and a lot of it can be viewed as this woven story that just for our entertainment at the same time, which I think is a very cool parallel for this writer and director to have come up with. So yeah, like I said, definitely not a movie for everyone. Incredible performances, amazing direction, and thoroughly enjoyable. I thought for sure it would leave a bad taste in my mouth, but like I said, also no agenda, and I can truly appreciate that. So those are my thoughts on Eddington. I'm going to leave this here. I didn't want to ramble on too much. It's definitely a movie worth experiencing. Should you rush out and see it in the theater? No, this is not a movie that absolutely needs to be seen on the big screen if you don't want to deal with crowds or spend the money that it costs to go there now. I know that's probably not something I should be saying when a movie I enjoyed this much comes out, but it's true, and I'm just here to let you know this is not like a huge cinematic blockbuster. It's just a really good piece of cinema, and if you want to support it, then yeah, absolutely go out to the theater and see it, but you're not going to be missing out on anything if you wait to catch it in the comfort of your own home.